with the initials W. B. Wallace, Barnaby. Inside was 60,000 credits and Grissom's ID card. "Aha!" Grissom shouted. "There it is. The evidence." "Wait," the judge said, picking up a small slip of paper that fell out of the wallet. "This is a set of instructions. Use payroll as bait?" Grissom froze. "It seems," the judge continued, "that the commandant attempted to frame his officers using Federation funds." Grissom turned pale. He looked at Mav. Mav winked. "Well," Mav said, leaning back. As Grissom was led away to the very brig he had designed for Mav, the crew of the Star Skipper 73 gathered in the hangar. "Hey, Skip," Pringle said, clutching a peanut butter sandwich. "Now that you're the permanent commandant, can we keep the bowling alley in the laser range?" Mav looked at his crew, the misfits, the gamblers, and the lizard. He looked at the neon garter belts they were currently using as slingshots. "Pringle," Mav smiled, "authorized. Just make sure the Archduke gets a high score." On the moon of Xylos 9, the air still smelled like cabbage. But for the first time in Federation history, the incompetence was finally being managed by professionals. Epilogue. Commandant Grissom sat in his cell, staring at the wall. Suddenly, the door opened. It was Mav, holding a tray. "Brought you some lunch, Wally," Mav said. Grissom looked at the tray. It was a single, lonely peanut butter sandwich. "Wait," Grissom whispered. "Is that a heart-shaped birthmark on your ankle?" Mav looked down. "No, sir. That's just a mustard stain. But in this galaxy, who can really tell the difference?" The door hissed shut, leaving Grissom alone with his thoughts and a very hungry Sid the lizard who was eyeing his shoes. The Pirates of Paradiso, a novel of nautical nonsense and bureaucratic blunders. Prologue. The island where discipline went to die. In the heart of the Aja archipelago lay a speck of sand and palm trees known as Tortuga Cay. Officially, it was a strategic naval outpost. Unofficially, it was a place where the sailors' uniforms were held together by sea salt and sheer optimism, and where the most dangerous weapon in the arsenal was a deck of cards. Tortuga Cay was home to two warring factions. On one side was Commodore Barnaby, the bluster Bellingham, a man whose blood pressure was high enough to power a small locomotive, and whose primary goal in life was to see his subordinate, Captain Lucky Logan, court-martialed, marooned, or preferably both. On the other side was Captain Logan and his crew of sea strayers, a motley collection of scavengers, gamblers, and mechanical geniuses who could fix a torpedo boat with bubblegum and a prayer. Chapter 1. The Great Malingering. The morning sun hit Commodore Barnaby's office like a physical insult. Barnaby was currently screaming into a radio about garter belts. "I don't care if the nurses' supply manifest says they need silk and hosiery." Barnaby roared, his face turning a shade of purple, usually reserved for bruised plums. "I am a naval commander, not a haberdasher. Tell them to use twine." His long-suffering aide, Lieutenant Nervous Ned, hovered nearby with a tray of indigestion pills. "Sir, please. Your stomach acid is currently corrosive enough to etch glass. And we have news." "News? I hate news," Barnaby spat. "Admiral Steel Gaze Sterling is arriving today. A surprise inspection. Villain." Barnaby's jaw hit the desk. Sterling was known as the human guillotine. He ate sloppily dressed officers for breakfast and spat out their buttons. Barnaby looked around his office. The sinks in the officers' club were backed up. The barracks smelled like fermented coconuts. And Logan's crew was currently running a clandestine casino in the air raid shelter. "I'm dying," Barnaby suddenly declared, clutching his chest with theatrical flair. "Ned, I am struck down by the vapors of command. I cannot face the Admiral in this state. If I am incapacitated, I must appoint an acting base commander." A wicked glint entered Barnaby's eyes. "If I appoint Logan, that glorious idiot will lead the Admiral right into the heart of his own chaos. Sterling will see the hula dancers, the gambling, and the moonshine. Logan will be disgraced, and I shall rise from my deathbed a hero." Chapter 2. The coronation of Captain Lucky. Captain Lucky Logan was currently lounging on the deck of the SS Hilarity, his prized PT boat, watching his XO, Ensign Butterfingers Barry, try to dismantle a machine gun while blindfolded. "Sir, Captain Logan." Ned arrived, breathless. "The Commodore is, well, he's having a bit of a turn. He's appointed you acting base commander." Logan squinted. "Barnaby, giving me power? That's like a cat giving a mouse the keys to the cheese cellar." "What's the catch?" "No catch, sir. Just the weight of command." "And the Admiral is arriving in an hour." Logan sighed. "Barry, put the gun down before you shoot a hole in the horizon. We're moving to the main office." The transition was instant chaos. Within minutes of taking the desk, Logan was besieged. The phone wouldn't stop ringing. "Hello? The Petty Officers Club? The sinks are backing up? Look, pal, I'm a captain, not a plumber. Try using a plunger, or just stop washing your hands." Barry burst in, holding a tangled mess of lace. "Skipper, we found the garter belts the nurses were asking for, but they look more like slingshots." "Just deliver them, Barry, and get those hula dancers out of the air raid shelter." The Admiral's plane just touched down. Chapter 3. The Sultan and the Sindali Princesses. Before Logan could even breathe, a new crisis arrived. A royal yacht dropped anchor, carrying King Zandali of the Golden Sands and his 3 daughters. The king was a man of immense dignity and even more immense luggage. "I am Karim," the king announced as Logan met him at the dock. "I seek refuge from the pirates of the northern straits. My daughters are my most precious cargo. Do not debase their dignity." "Wowie wow wow," Barry whispered, catching a glimpse of the princesses. "I heard that," the king thundered. "The next man to make a chicken noise at my daughters shall be fed to the sharks." Logan scrambled to keep the peace, offering the king a ride on the PT boat. To Logan's horror, the king insisted on driving. The SS Hilarity veered wildly across the harbor, nearly flattening a row of laundry sheds. "Smashing, simply smashing." The king laughed, spinning the wheel like a maniac. Logan smiled weakly, watching Commodore Barnaby, watching them through binoculars from the hospital window. Barnaby was fuming. His illness was being forgotten in the excitement of the royal visit. Chapter 4. The Laughing Gas Gambit. By the next day, Logan was exhausted. Barnaby had recovered just enough to start a fitness board hearing to get Barry kicked out of the Navy for being incompetent, clumsy, and possessing the tactical mind of a goldfish. The crew met in secret. "We gotta cheer the old man up," said Greasy Gus, the crew's lead mechanic. "If Barnaby's in a good mood, he'll cancel the hearing." "How do you make a man like that happy?" Barry asked. "He hates joy." "Laughing gas," Gus whispered, holding up a tank stolen from the dental clinic. "We pump it through his office window. He'll be so hysterical, he'll promote us all." The plan was executed with military precision, or at least, Logan's version of it. They snuck up to the Commodore's office with a hose. Inside, Barnaby was screaming at Ned about the traitorous PT boat crew. Suddenly, he paused. He sniffed the air. A giggle escaped his lips, then a chortle, then a full-bellied guffaw. "Ned!" Barnaby shrieked, tears streaming down his face. "Did you see Parker torpedo that garbage scow last month? It was art. I love that boy. Bring him here. I want to give him a medal. I want to give everyone a medal." The crew outside cheered. But then, the Admiral walked in. "Bellingham!" Admiral Sterling barked. "What is the meaning of this? Why are you dancing on your desk with a wastebasket on your head?" Barnaby looped an arm around the Admiral. "Oh, Steel Gaze, you old dog. Have some laughing juice. Everything is hilarious." The Admiral's face hardened. Logan, realizing the gas was working a bit too well, tried to disconnect the hose, but it was too late. The Admiral got a face full of nitrous oxide. "You know," the Admiral giggled, his stern posture sagging. "That PT boat commander, what's his name? Lucky? He's a hoot. A real hoot." Chapter 5. Snappy, the Payroll Bandit. Just when things couldn't get more absurd, the base payroll arrived. $62,000 in small, unmarked